Hello, I'm Deborah Parker Wong here with 10 Minutes on Terroir. Today we're talking about the soils of Valpolicella. The first place you might encounter the terroir of Valpolicella is in the streets of Verona. Here's the Via Mazzini, and this street is paved with prune or Licinia stone. You can also find this stone used in the arena and the churches of Verona as well too. Licinia stone takes its name from the Licini Mountains, where the wine-growing region of Valpolicella runs from west to east across 7 main valleys. Geologists use the term marble to refer to limestone that has been transformed by pressure and heat or metamorphosized. Marble is a metamorphic rock, but stonemasons here refer to any limestone, which is a sedimentary rock that can be polished as marble. Today I'm using the geological terms. So here's a look at the beautiful layers of white, pink, and reddish Licinia stone. The colors you see here are from iron and manganese. There's also red clay that's formed between these layers. And when this material is exposed to the elements, it oxidizes and it starts to lighten up over time. This is just one example of the complex geology of Valpolicella. So let's look at the origin of its geology. Here we see Italy's major mountain ranges, the Alpine chain, which includes the Lacini and of course Valpolicella, and the Southern Alps, the spine of Italy, were formed by the collision, the overlapping, and the upheaval of the African and Eurasian plates. But the formation of the parent materials occurred long before the mountains existed, and they were formed when the region was underwater. A large sea covered this area, and marine deposits were laid down that include ammonites, shells, marine animals like sea urchins. They were deposited in layers on the muddy seafloor, and these layers built up over a period of 200 million years from the Triassic to the Miocene, as you can see in this slide. At that point, the movements of the Earth's crust, the collision of these two plates, and some underwater volcanic eruptions worked to harden the seafloor and force the mountains upwards, thus the creation of the Lacini. This slide shows us the soil layers that form the parent materials of Valpolicella. And they're really fascinating. I'm not going to touch on every soil type, but I'm going to talk about a couple of them here for you. The sandstone we see at the top, the calcareous sandstone, is the youngest soil type. We find this in San Pietro in Cariano. There's an ancient quarry site there at Verona, lying between two streams, the stream of Verona on the east and the stream of Fumane on the west. Nummulitic limestone is interesting because it was formed by coiled fossils called nummulites. It's gray and white, and it can be yellow, and when it is, it's called galena stone, and that's commonly found on the ridge that separates Negrar from neighboring Valpatena to the east. We have to talk about the igneous soil types, and the compact basalt and the rhyolitic tuff. Those soils are found in the north central part near Negrar, but primarily in the eastern part of Valpolicella, in the Valpolicella Orientale. And we'll talk specifically about that. The prune soil, which we saw earlier, the Licinia stone, is now currently being mined at a place called Monte Lata, and there's 73 different layers of stone with names, thicknesses, and qualities. So it's an extraordinary material. Biancone was also formed around the same time, and it's the exact opposite. It's a milky white limestone with no fossils, and you see it on very soft slopes, would be the parent material on the soft slopes. Probably the most famous stone from this region is called Rosso Verona. It's a red ammonite. And ammonites, I've shown you a picture here, are beautiful nautilus-like shells. And it's not officially a marble, it's a fossilized limestone. And it's very beautiful and decorative. The oolitic limestone comes in the area that's most well known for that is Lake Garda, the southern area of Monte Baldo, and then the gray limestone, which is the oldest, is near Rovereto, right, and that is north of Negrar, and it's gray because of all the organic matter that was there during its formation. So enough geeking out on soil types. Here we go. So let's look at, uh, these are the four main soil types of Valpolicella that kind of give you an idea of, where wine growing is going to occur on this slide. You can see that, let me get my marker going here. You can see that the limestone matrices are here kind of in the central part, and those include all the different limestones we just looked at. The youngest soils, of course, are those from the Adige alluvial. The Adige River has deposited soils here in the southern part of the Classico region. And then the river alluvials from the creeks, the Progne that run down through the valleys. And these are the youngest soils. And here you can see the volcanic rock soil up here in Negrar in the northern part over here, and then scattered throughout the eastern part of the Valpolicella orientale. My next slide is the dry stack stone walls, or the Moronia, that form the terrace vineyards in Valpolicella. These walls are really an ideal way to study the geology of the sites where they're located. We see similar walls in Puglia and Burgundy, and even in Ireland. And you can really see the complexity of the terroir in the rock composition of these walls. In the upper Valpolicella, we also see fences made of stone slabs as well, too. This is a wall we would find in the west. This is the prune or Licinia stone. In the east, there's more red ammonite, and those igneous soils, basalt and rhyolitic tuff, which is compressed ash. Actually, I have an example of that for you as well. This shows a beautiful dry stack wall at Cantina Negrar. It's just 10 minutes from the ancient quarry of Prune, and it shows the incredible craftsmanship of the stonemasons using several different patterns. The cut vertical stones here at the top, they're there for stability. And then you see this beautiful fishbone pattern as well too, but there's about 4 or 5 different patterns combined in there. This wall shows the Biancone, and we know that this is from the Classico region because of these large limestone slabs that are used to create the wall. So this really high quality material that's been put into this wall. Here's some examples of basalt, the black stone on the left and the rhyolitic tuff there on the right. You would see this type of material used in the walls in the eastern part of the region. So with regard to wine growing, of course we know that at higher elevations the soils are going to be very shallow, and we're going to have limey clay soils over the parent material. On the lower slopes and terraces, we're going to see this colluvial material. You can see it formed here, colluvium at the bottom of the slope, all along the terrace. This first level of terrace here. And what we're looking at are material that's been washed down by gravity and by the streams. And all this channel erosion, the soils are fine, limey clay soils. They can have some medium to small gravel in them. And then you're going to see that same material deposited on the lower terrace as well, too. So these are the primary soil types. But as we get down to the valley floor and closer to the Adige, or in the southern part of the region, you'll have more alluvial soils, which are sandier, siltier soils. And of course, we can infer the wine styles that will be coming from those soils as well, too. So if you want to learn more about the soils of Valpolicella, I'd recommend a visit to the Prehistoric and Paleontology Museum that you'll find in Sant'Anna del Fado, which is north of Negrar. I'll see you there. Thanks very much. Bye.